Hello, welcome to Teaching Tuesday. Today I am going to be breaking down the wording of a wedding invitation. There's a lot of information that goes on the wedding invitation, and there are a lot of different ways you can do it. So I'm going to try and go quickly through this, and then if you have any questions, just message us and we can give you an answer. So the most traditional way to word a wedding invitation is when the parents of the bride are hosting. And traditionally, it's the full name of the father and the first and middle name of the bride. So here's an example of a very traditional invitation. Mr. and Mrs., it can be Dr. and Mrs., doctors, however that is. The full name, yes, we usually don't do abbreviations up here. And then the bride's first and middle name, last name being at the top. This is the most traditional way to do it. If your parents are divorced, there are a couple different ways you can do. You can have their names separated out by an and or just on two different lines. You don't have to have that and. That indicates that they're divorced. Or here's another way to do it. Have one person's name, if you want them like on the same line, and then separating out by the and then the second name. So those are, parents are divorced, but still both hosting the wedding. If your both sets of parents are hosting, then you would do something like this, having one set and the second set, and you're asking them, requesting your guests to join you at the marriage of their children versus daughter, and then you would spell out the children's full names there. If the parents of the groom, and I'm using bride and groom, but we do bride and groom, and this kind of fits for both. So if you want to have them mentioned, but they are not hosting the wedding, then you have the bride's parents' names here, the names of the couple here, and then underneath you can do son of and list out the groom's parents' names. That's more of a mention, and that doesn't really indicate that they're hosting anything. If the couple is hosting with their families or their parents, this is a great way to do together with their families or together with their parents, and then their full names of the couple listed out. So that's a really easy one to do. And then at the bottom, you can just have invite you to celebrate with them as they exchange marriage vows. There are a million different things you can put there, invite you to join them, whatnot. If the couple is hosting, then you can have their names up at the top. You can either, this one we have Kelly and Muhammad listed here, and then again in the wedding invitation, and we have just more of a generic invite you to join them as they celebrate their wedding vows. Here are two others like that. Some bride and groom will just do their first names. They know their guests and they know who they're coming to see get married. Here we did first names and then spelled out their full names later on in the invitation. So as far as how to do the wording of favor, honor, pleasure of your company. If you're getting married in a house of worship, you are technically supposed to use honor with the British, with the U, the British way to spell it. So if you do use honor with a U, you're getting married in a house of worship, then you also want to do favor for the reply cards. Just make sure that those match. Anything else you can do, pleasure of your company, you can do quarterly invite you, would be delighted by your presence, invite you to celebrate with them. There are a lot of different things that you can do for that wording. As far as, I'm just gonna kind of take a more traditional one and go down, you're gonna have underneath the names, you're gonna have the date spelled out. More modern ones, you might have some fun with the word, with the numbers. The year, 2020, you could do 2020, both are fine. And then the time, we will usually, Emily Post says anything up until 5:59 is considered afternoon. We do a lot of 5 and over in the evening, so that's kind of up to you. You can find different things saying different, so I would say do whatever you want. Or you don't have to, you could just say like half after 5 o'clock, and you don't have to have in the evening, that's fine too. So then you want to come down and have the name of the ceremony. Some people will put the address of the ceremony. We usually don't. I just don't personally love numbers on an invitation, and we put that on the details card or on the website. But definitely the city. And then if you're getting married at the same place, your ceremony and your reception venue are the same, all you need is a dinner and dancing to follow, dinner reception to follow, an evening of celebration to follow, something fun like that. If you are doing, let's see, this one, Georgina, she got married at a church, and then she was having dinner and dancing to follow, and then she listed out the name of her reception venue. All right, this was the Cherokee Town Club. Totally fine. Proper etiquette, if you want to put it all on the invitation, that's fine. This is one where, I think this is Molly's friend Lindley, very traditional invitation, getting married at a church, does not list out the reception. She had a separate reception card. That's also totally fine. When you are thinking about your attire, usually at Paper Daisies, we suggest only putting attire on the actual invitation if it has something to do with black tie. So that can be black tie, which means you are expecting your guests to come in a tuxedo or a floor-length gown. Some, dark suits or very dressy cocktail dresses a lot of times will be fine too. Black tie optional or black tie invited, black tie welcome, black tie preferred. Those all mean dress nicely, wear a dark suit if you have one, wear at least a cocktail dress. It's going to be a nice fancy wedding. If you're doing cocktail attire or semi-formal, we usually say put that on the details card or add a reception card and include that there. Again, anything goes nowadays. If it's something you want it a particular way, then we'll do it. So that's kind of the breakdown of the actual wedding invitation, and I'll go into some of the wording of the other cards at another time because it's a lot.